Welcome back to another RageMore survival series. I thought would kind of show you guys some of the different things I've been working on and a new project idea that I had for Minecraft. I'm going to continue with the RageMore series, but I also wanted to kind of branch out and try a few different things. So one of the things I was going to do is I was going to go ahead and show you a multiplayer server that a few friends have set up. It's brand new, just started, and just wanted to show you a few things that are on there. And hopefully, maybe eventually, more stuff will happen if I invite more people to this server. So right now, I'll go ahead and log in, and just to give you guys an idea of what we've done. And again, I'm not a mega builder, so you're not going to see gigantic super cities or any of those really cool things that you can find out on YouTube. It was just kind of a starting point for us. To kind of make our own multiplayer server and to test it out. As you can see, it's snowing outside. I'm currently sitting in what we set up is basically a farm outside our base here. And also, what's interesting about this is that it's raining too. I had a really weird glitch with this map at one point where we had saved it and then came back in, and a huge chunk of it was kind of changed. It was kind of weird. I'll show you in the daytime when you can see a little bit better. This is kind of just the main enclosure that we've created so far, and I'll kind of give you a tour here of probably during the day. What I should do is probably skip back to the day so you guys can see this. We just started out with kind of like a wall structure to keep things out, and that we could go ahead and create this. Now, one of the things I did see the other day is I had a rainstorm going. It was thunder and it hit a pig, and I really should have recorded it, but it turned him into a pigman, so that was kind of funny. With multiplayer, it does seem like sometimes the server glitches a little bit more than single player, and in different texture packs this sometimes looks different. Right now I'm using Ovo's texture pack, which is more of a kind of a fantasy medieval, I think he calls it like a rustic texture pack, and I kind of like the look of the cobblestone in this one, so I've just kind of been using it lately too. What we have here is we just created kind of a big area up in the tree when we first started out. This was the first thing we created to kind of keep us up and out of the way, and then we began to create this structure here that was around it. And I'll kind of explain the rest of it as you see it there. Obviously somebody put up one of their portals over there, and that was kind of like a little monument there. DR is one of the guys that plays. I was setting up different areas out and across. I'll have to show you some of those when we get moving around. And then we have quite an extensive underground, probably more than above ground, which is interesting, is that all the underground stuff is a bit more extensive. That building over there was a building we made, the second building we made, because the spawn point was right next to that, and we wanted to have a building there in case we had died. You'd have a building to run right into pretty quick if you had to spawn over there. And then we made a few other adjustments here and there. So what I'll do is I'm going to pause for a moment, as you guys can see it in the dark, but I'm going to go ahead and pause for a moment, and then when the sun comes up I'll go ahead and continue the video. Okay, so day is breaking, and I was just going to go ahead and show you kind of some of the things that were happening. So what was kind of weird is after a save had happened, kind of the land had changed, and instead of where we had a bunch of desert area here, the snow actually came in after that, and then this big giant chunk of land just appeared, which used to not be here. This used to all just be desert, all of this. And this appeared, so just like some type of weird chunk error had happened. So I've had to carve all this out to try to fix this whole area, more of this chunk area. I had to refix this area, and I was building over there, and that giant structure right there just all of a sudden appeared. So it was kind of a weird map glitch error that had happened, and so I'm not sure how safe this map is anymore. I worry sometimes that it's going to happen again and then ruin what we've created. So I have to remember to keep saving. But again, we're pretty new to this, and we haven't really been doing too much yet. We're just kind of playing around. So this structure here we just kind of enclosed again, and you can see the farm in the daytime. There we go. We have a farm going. Our wall. I'll show you some other cool things here. We did create, this was actually on top of our first mine shaft too, was right here. So we did kind of create this area, and then I did start putting in some railroad to play around, and I don't know if I have any railroad carts available. Probably not. Offload a few of these things. Well, I'll just keep going. So what we had here was our first mine shaft, which was actually kind of this whole area was a straight down mine shaft. But what I did is made this into the first level, and then we continued down. And you'll see it over here in a second. So we had this kind of shaft where we were going to dig quite a bit down. Then we started connecting other giant cave systems back to this system. So here we had more cave systems that we explored, and we went down further. All the way down, more cave system that we explored. This was a natural cave system here, but it was right alongside of our kind of deep pit. So keep going here. And every now and then there's like weird glitches, like you can't actually mine that, it won't come up. So just a few things here and there. More caves. Oh, nice. Do not explode. I have no idea if I have arrows. Yeah, I do. Good. Good, good, good. Let's see. So sometimes they can spawn there, huh? So this was kind of the first railroad station area here. We made a nice big tunnel, and this actually came into another natural cave system. So we started to explore that. We put in kind of just a station here to do different ore. So this goes kind of all the way around. This goes up and down, comes all the way back, and comes around to here. But we put another mining station because this huge cave system would go on and on and on, and we would, you know, just all of a sudden come back to another spot where we had already been mining or digging. So as you can see, it kind of rolls around and continues to go further. So we did make another station here, which sometimes has creatures in it, so I'll be careful. And this was another area for us to do different mining operations. Actually, it's down. So let me see, this is more like the balcony area. Okay, so another mining area. Oh. Some of these holes are just where we found mineral and ore, or even more natural. And again, this is where that other rail system comes in. So this goes back up and around. So that's that second rail you saw. And then we made another one that goes from there over. So we could just send stuff back and forth to each other as we were working. I mean, we followed the contours of the cave, so it's not like we made all of this structure. And some of it might still actually be unexplored. I don't know if we ever got through it all or not. Looks like we did a lot of it though, so I'll go back. So this underground mine area, which we worked in quite a bit, I believe I can I get back over here? Thinking I can. Yeah, so you can get kind of turned around pretty easy. Booster. I was having such trouble with trying to get mine carts to go uphill for such a long time, but now with the booster rails, it'll probably be easy. So I'll have to keep checking that out. So this mine actually connects into another mine system. So I'll go all the way back. I believe, if I remember correctly, what ended up happening is these natural caves just kept winding around, and then they would reconnect back into each other. And then we'd realize, hey, I've already been here, I've already been mining here, or we'd see our own torches or things like that. So it's kind of interesting to see this giant sprawling cave system that we got. I think this... sometimes I forget which maps I'm on too. They all kind of tend to bleed together. So these are two different mine areas that lead to different areas. So this one leads to the left. It goes down, and then all that stuff we saw... yeah, here we go. Oh, this one goes back to the substations. Okay, so this is the underground route, and you'll see where we pop up. So there's a substation there where we were mining, and this is back where over towards where we spawned. We call it Rebirth. So we spawned over here. So we made a tunnel that goes all the way underneath because it seemed like we always had so many creatures to deal with just to run even a little ways. So you'll see where that goes in a second. So this goes back up to right underneath where the spawn location is. And this did kind of butt into a giant cave system on its own that we've been exploring also. So another giant cave system, Lots of minerals, lots of materials come out of that. We tried to put up a few signs, but I realize it's probably confusing. So this is the building we created right next to the spawn point so that if you came in, you had a place to go. And again, this is one of those things where the chunk error happened, and it put this giant just piece of land that's kind of out of place right in front of everything, because this wasn't here before. So we'll have to come in and mine that out. That looks kind of crazy. But you spawned right here on the beach, is where you spawned before. All of a sudden, though, another thing that happened was our spawn point moved when this error happened. So then it moved closer to the base, which in one way worked out because now you're closer to that wall, and there's that building that we were in. But you can't build on the spawn point, so now when something got blown up by a creeper, we can't put anything back, so that kind of sucked. There used to be over here too, like a giant hole in the earth that looked like one of those, like the map wouldn't render. But no, it looks okay. It looks like one of our boats are out there. So we haven't done too much with this area. This was the spawn area, so we kind of left it alone. I'll have to see if I can clean that out. But this was the first building we put here just in case, the Rebirth Station. So those underground mines lead from either from here to that building, or from here to the far buildings in the back, or from here to another station we have that's kind of over near that. Okay, so I'll kind of show you, I'll show you that way. I'll go through the cave system and then you'll see where we pop up. This was supposed to be a safer route, and it usually is. We don't run into too many things here. So, going to Substation 1 is the other place we go. And then left is Substation 1, right is Substation 2. So that's Substation 2 is kind of where we started. That's what I call Substation 2. Here we ran into a dungeon. We still haven't done much with that yet, but we'll probably turn this into a monster spawner of some sort. Again, more huge natural caverns. We kept running into, as we were building structures, into caverns. So this goes back to the Hilltop Fort, which is where we saw before. And then if you go this way, down to Substation 1, so you got to go a little bit further down. And then I believe Substation 1 is right here. So this was another mining operation where the caves were getting so big, we figured we probably should just put a substation in where we can have a little bit of area to work out of, because we're just finding so many cave systems here. Okay, so going back up a second. Now there was another cave area you could go to. No, that means it's explored. If I try to remember my way around here a second.